How you doing on Big D? Welcome to my show, The Boiling Point. Today is March 31st, 2023. We're gonna have a lot to talk about today. I'm gonna start with Joe Biden. The majority of this show is gonna be good, but I got to start with some bad first. First, got an issue with the laptop that controls the TV behind me. Going through some updates right now. Try not to let that interfere with anything that you're able to watch right now. But I have to show you Joe Biden talking about the shooting in Tennessee. Nashville, by the way. He should be not joking around, for my opinion. And what is he talking about anyways? So I'm going to share this. Bear with me. Yeah, you let me know what you think about this. I can't call him my president. This individual, the administrator.
My name is Joe Biden. I'm Dr. Joe Biden's husband. And I ate Jenny's ice cream, chocolate chip. I came down because I heard there was chocolate chip ice cream. By the way, I have a whole refrigerator full upstairs. I think I'm kidding. I'm not. Got Ben Hellway, pal. One of the best guys in the United States Congress, Ben Cardin. Folks, welcome to the White House.
Yeah, exactly. How is that even possible that that is our president? Someone's got to explain that. So what you see on your screen right now is an email that the Federal Election Commission's Office of Complaints, Examination, and Legal Administration had received, or showing that Michael Cohen is responsible for the payout of $130,000 to Stormy Daniels or Stephanie Clifford. So this is explaining, and read along with me. I am writing on behalf of my client, Michael D. Cohen, in response to the letter dated January 30th, 2018. Specifically, this letter responds to the complaint numbered MUR 7313, which was filed with the Federal Elections Commissions by Common Cause and Paul S. Ryan. On private transaction, in 2016, before the U.S. presidential election, Mr. Cohen used his own personal funds to facilitate a payment of $130,000 to Miss Stephanie Clifford. And it states neither the Trump organization nor Trump campaign was a party to the transaction with Miss Clifford, and neither reimbursed Mr. Cohen for the payment directly or indirectly. Contrary to the allegations in the complaint, which are entirely speculative, neither Mr. Cohen nor Essential Consultants LLC made any in-kind contributions to Donald J. Trump for president or any other presidential campaign committee. Mr. Cohen has not been a government employee during any of the relevant time period. The payment in question does not constitute a campaign contribution or expenditure, and therefore the FEC lacks jurisdiction over this matter. The complainants have not and cannot present any evidence to this contrary. Accordingly, the complaint should be dismissed. Signed by Stephen Ryan, counsel for Michael Cohen. This right here, if the actual indictment for Donald Trump comes forward with what they stated it was going to be, of misuse of funds for his election in 2016, then this proves that Trump had no knowledge of, and that his lawyer at the time paid off Miss Stephanie Clifford. Hard to believe that we're going forward with this indictment. And didn't they say just before the indictment came down that they were going to have a month recess and then come back and discuss more? And instead, within a very short period of time, it came out with the indictment. What is going on? What's up with the smoke and mirrors? This is getting ridiculous. But I guess we were going to find out a lot of different things in a very short time. So I'm going to go over something that was sent to me, and I hope this makes perfect sense. Before I get into that, I wanted to explain a little thing that if you'd like to check into it yourself, you can. We had January 20th, 2021, the supposed inauguration of Joe Biden. By law, the way I understand it, the inauguration for the new president has to take place after 12 p.m. Did this happen for Joe Biden? No, it did not. It was prior to 12 p.m. It was still, I think it was 11:57 a.m., which is against the law or against the rules, or however you want to look at it. That was one of the odd things. The next couple of odd things that came up were how the president and the new supposed president and new supposed vice president swore in by placing their hand on the Bible. Joe Biden, he stated it was a family heirloom Bible that he wanted to swear on. Some say it wasn't even a Bible. I do not have details on that, but if you saw it, it was probably about that thick. Very interesting. Next thing, Kamala would not put her hand directly on the Bible. She placed her handbag on the Bible and then received her oath. Never has a president, from my knowledge, left the White House on his last day in Marine One. Not only did he did Donald J. Trump leave the White House and going to the airport, you had a small media conference before getting on Air Force One, which again, no other president, from what I can understand and find, has ever left. When leaving the White House, never left on Air Force One. After his short speech and leaving, as he's walking to the plane, they had a 21 gun salute, and also they played the song Hail to the Chief. You do not have those two things when you leave the White House. Those are for inauguration and others. But inauguration is not supposedly what was going on that day for Donald J. Trump. What did they have for Joe Biden? They had a 3-gun volley and a 13-gun salute. They also did not play Hail to the Chief. They played the song Honors March. Very different for what a president should be receiving. So here we are. They state that this whole operation has been a joint operation with world allies to expose the federal corporation of elite judges, lawyers, politicians, governors, attorney generals, etc. Plus war on all kinds of trafficking and exposing improper wars that the industrial complex TV generals started and didn't have the balls to stand up to the rhinos. And a quantum financial system being installed all over the world, as the U.S. Treasury Secretary has already made known the U.S. is bankrupt. I'm going to pull up the next piece. Bear with me. Hence why the federal continuity directives 1 and 2 outline that all 3 branches of government are in a continuity of government, which issue date of January 17, 2017, and June 13, 2017, with operations date of 2018 through 2022. Also 2020 through 2024. The military is under a direct order by Donald J. Trump with Executive Order 13912, found in 10 U.S. Code 1209, that a military order separate from civil and federal law. Donald became an official wartime president with a 50 U.S. Code 33, Section 1541, use of the national emergencies, 10 of them, the last 2 very specific, plus multiple other laws and orders. You're all witnessing history, which is why it is very important to try to read and understand the laws and orders, regulations, and code language, because it all forms a blueprint and a movie of controlled operations taking place. If all of it is stupid and all the names that have been called and hate, my bad. Hang on. Okay, let's see if this is accurate. I was questioning this part earlier. Hang on. So every single executive order that Donald Trump declared national emergencies with a direct military order along with Executive Order 13912 have been extended to 2024. And many of those were extended by Joe Biden. That's very good information. And if that's true, which I did look up 2 of them, and Joe Biden did extend 2 of them that I could find. First off, how is that? Still, hold on one sec. Okay, now, how come Joe Biden hasn't shut down Gitmo? While campaigning half of his 2020 on that topic, when he was campaigning for presidency, he kept saying he's going to shut down Gitmo. Wasn't that long ago, I believe it was the New York Times or New York Post, something, whatever it was, they were talking about how they're going to be let's see if I can find this. One second. I apologize. Tribunals. They stated there were going to be tribunals throughout the summer of 2023 at Gitmo, and that they have extended how many courts that they have at Gitmo now. There's been nonstop transportation in and out of Guantanamo Bay with personnel, along with military personnel, along with civilian type aircraft going in and out of there with transport type planes. And this is another thing that how come Joe Biden has never talked about Space Force? Never seen him talk about Space Force one time. Donald Trump speaks of it highly because he brought it into the military. Now, this is what I talked about earlier. How come Donald J. Trump received the full grade military and constitutional inauguration service by the official presidential salute battery with 4 cannons and presidential inaugurations? That was the day he left. They state it's all part of the plan. It's unfortunate many Americans still refuse or simply don't want to read the blueprint that will show you what's really going on. Sorry about that. Now, I don't speak of Q much, and I really should, because dates and times and events, Q has been pretty much on point. Q said the first arrest will shock the world. If Donald J. Trump does actually get arrested, he's indicted, yes. But the way it looks to many of us, Donald J. Trump is still your president because he was inaugurated. Joe Biden was not. Joe Biden's inauguration was 3 minutes early, and he never received hail to the chief, and he never received the military gun salute. The next image is what I have been told that's going to be the new U.S. currency, which is going to be a U.S. note. Will not be called the U.S. dollar. Some people call it the rainbow currency. This is not confirmed. No one knows if this is true or not, but I've been asked on multiple occasions if I could share the image with everybody again. So here, I'll share the screen. I hope this helps. It is definitely different. Not exactly sure. I think the verdict's out with me. I don't know if it's exactly the way I would go, but we will see what the what actually comes out, when and if it ever does. I just received some information that I wanted to share about the indictment. Okay, here's a video, and they're going to explain this bogus indictment.
President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, indicted in New York City. Bolshevism has arrived to American shores. We've got Mike Davis on the line. Mike, unpack this for us. What is this indictment? What do we know about the charges? What does the process look like for here?
Well, the Democrats have crossed the Rubicon here with George Soros funded Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg apparently bringing an indictment against President Trump for settling a nuisance claim back in 2016. This was routine for business people to settle nuisance claims. Alvin Bragg is apparently turning this into a federal campaign finance violation by bootstrapping laws. It is insane what he is doing here. Alvin Bragg, when he worked for the New York Attorney General's office, pushed the prior Manhattan DA to decline these charges. The Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office declined these charges. The Federal Election Commission declined these charges. And so now you have Alvin Bragg taking $1 million from George Soros to get elected as the Manhattan DA, the Democrat DA, and now he's bringing these charges, trumped up charges for this non-crime of settling a civil matter back in 2016.
But how do they take it from a civil matter to a criminal matter? How do they make it a felony? Explain to that, because I still can't quite get it. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I haven't seen the actual indictment or the charges on paper, but I've seen the news reports. Essentially, they're trying to say that that this was an illegal campaign contribution to his 2016 campaign that was not reported, and Bragg apparently is going to cobble together New York statute along with federal statute to turn this into a federal, or to turn this into a campaign finance violation under New York law. It is completely bogus. It's a bogus charge that he's bringing. It's laughable, and it's actually going to backfire spectacularly, both in court and politically, for Bragg. I mean, this may make Bragg a hero among the limousine liberals in Manhattan, but this is really going to damage the Democrat Party, because Alvin Bragg's going to do the impossible here. He's going to make Donald Trump sympathetic, which I didn't think was ever possible. But that's what's going to happen after these bogus charges against President Trump.
I think the backlash will be swift, and I think you're already seeing that in the polling numbers. I said at CPAC, there's one man who's been defamed, smeared, lied about, attacked, investigated, and prosecuted more than every single member of the MAGA movement combined. And if the swamp and the regime hates him that much, it's because he's the one man that can actually stand up and lead this movement and fight them and win. Mike Davis, thank you so much for being here with us, for unpacking with us, and being here on this historic day. I want to switch gears really quickly. Former President.
What can I say? Most likely bogus. Most likely the document that I showed earlier, the way I understand it, proves he had nothing to do with it. Did not even come from his own account. He had no direction. He didn't direct anybody to pay this off. Unless they have some kind of document that we don't know, most likely would be made up. We'll find out pretty soon, I do believe. Tuesday is the day where Donald Trump has to be there about 2 o'clock on Tuesday for his indictment or arrest. And check this out. Corrupt A.G. Garland remains in hiding after his DOJ indicts President Trump on bogus charges. Obviously, we believe they're bogus charges, but we'll have to go through the whole process to find out what is bogus and what is not. But I believe all of it is. Now, President Trump became the first president ever indicted on a crime in U.S. history. You remember some other presidents that had some issues? Nixon ring a bell? Boy. So President Trump, I do believe he's already got it all set. He knows exactly what he needs to do. He always does. They never get him. They never have. And on a bogus charge like this, it is just pushing the envelope, kicking it down the street because they don't want him to run for president. Do not. They do not want a second term. They saw what he did in the first term, even with all the obstacles that they put in the way. How much fighting did they do just for the wall? And then they stopped it. Day one, Biden signed an executive order stopping the wall production. Now, DA Alvin Bragg, yeah, he's a little lackey. It looks like he was paid off. Documents prove it. How much money he received from the George Soros clan. Gonna be fun. But I think Trump has everything in order. So James Comey fires off a tweet celebrating after a Manhattan grand jury indicts Trump. What happened to the 600 plus documents that were held against the grand jury that the grand jury did not see? Were they able to receive these documents after they shut down for 3 days? And then when they came back and started more of the grand jury process, did they receive those documents, or did they still hold them up? I believe they were held up, because if they went forward and had some real documents showing that Trump is innocent, they're not going to be in the best of light. So here is former FBI Director James Comey on Thursday night fired off a tweet celebrating after Trump was indicted by a grand jury. He was fired by Trump in 2017 while he was leading an investigation into the former president. He states it's been a good day. Manhattan grand jury voted to indict President Trump. The indictment is currently under seal. However, according to a leak to CNN, President Trump was hit with 34 counts related to business fraud. Former President Trump faces more than 30 counts related to business fraud in an indictment from a Manhattan jury. Ooh, big deal. Let's see if they can make it stick. How about that? But good news, and news that we should have had many years ago, the Durham report. I guess the full Durham report will be released soon. I'm hearing this is a positive note for Donald J. Trump. Again, we'll have to see. I like the statement from Donald J. Trump's son, Donald Jr. He says the only solution is to shove it down their throats and put him back into the White House. Donald Trump Jr. gives an epic response to garbage Trump indictment. It's all it's been ever since 2016. This is all you've seen from the Democrats. Thank you for stopping in. I do appreciate everybody. God bless America. God bless the world.